Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series. Drive your energy, of course. Before anything else, we are going to be your casters for today. Arctic at your service, fam. And of course, with me is Vulcan. And my, oh my, what a game one did we have earlier against TNC versus Acclaim Empire X. Of course, it was Acclaim Empire X that got that first win earlier.
Of course, this is a two-game series where we will move on to game 2, which is now. Let's see, will TNC shape up their pick and ban, their drafting, and bring it to a 1-1, not a 2-0 for AEX.
Yes, we'll just have to see if that will happen indeed later on. Of course, for our schedule, this is actually our only match for today. It is, of course, the best of 2 series between Acclaim Empire X versus TNC Pro Team.
This is a 2-game series for AEX and TNC. They already secured their seeding slots. Let's check the standings, where this team lies. As always, we're seeing TME not even moving from their current position.
Man. And of course, as we did mention earlier, regardless of the outcome for today's matchup, Acclaim Empire X has pretty much secured the 4th and final slots for the playoffs, with TNC Pro Team securing 5th place, of course, at the bottom of the bottom part of the ladder here. But of course, no fretting. Still a good game that we have ahead for today. And yeah, I mean, there we go. Of course, aside from the action that we have on the Rift, we have a little bit of action for all you creative summoners, as well as we do have the PGS Digital Fan Art Contest. Of course, all you have to do is create digital art that consists of 1 player per team, so we have a total of 8 teams. And we have a nifty 9K RP prize pool.
That's
for all
huge.
winners. That's pretty big. I mean, pambili ng legendary skin, whatever your favorite skins, kung anong pinapangarap nyo, yan, may pambili kayo with the RP. And of course, for more information, visit esports.garena.ph/PGS for more details.
And know that it has been extended until July 15, almost 2 weeks before Rampage, which is on July 30. Did you guys secure your tickets? I wonder. This is the biggest League of Legends event in the whole Philippines.
Yeah, it's like all the fans, including me, at Vulcan, Atlas, all the casters, all your favorite peeps in the league. This will be your chance to just kind of converge and enjoy the game that we all love, which is League of Legends. Of course, we'll be heading into game 2 of our first and only matchup for today between TNC Pro Team and Acclaim Empire X. And for the bans, Sejuani actually going to be banned right off the bat from AEX. So we did actually see how that Sejuani performed for Cannon as he transitioned that for the top lane.
Yes,
before.
and now they know the dangers of that. They remove it from their checklist. TNC is on the blue side, so they have the first pick priority. Let's see how AEX will answer that ban.
And so it looks like the Braum actually going to be banned away from Vanguard.
Failure bans coming in from TNC, while AEX are going for the burstiest champions of the whole Rift, LeBlanc and Sidra. Oh, and a ban onto Cannon's Shen.
Yeah, I mean, that Shen rather performed really well for Cannon. And not to mention the fact that what's really interesting is that the utility that stands united, especially when you have a lineup, especially with an AD carry like Nirmal, where you just protect them and you just skyrockets into oblivion. You know, no surprise right there that was banned out.
We also actually saw how the Stand United was used so offensively, not defensively, and those clutch saves were so rewarding. And right now, finalizing the bans, we are seeing AEX removing that sack for TNC.
And looks like it might actually be, not might, but it is going to be the Cannon lock-in for TNC. Of course, I'm expecting this to be on for Lando, but considering the interesting picks that TNC has been pulling off lately, I wouldn't be surprised as to maybe that could be an AD carry Cannon as well. But then again, there have been a few adjustments to Cannon. I'm not sure if they're already effective as of 7.13.
It is affected by 7.13, where the AP scalings is juicier and more tempting to build more AP than AD. We did see on the first day of the 5th week where we saw players like Suzaku use the Cannon as AP. Really powerful lockdown, and the slicing Maelstrom is something you have to watch out for.
Not just him, but even in the AD carry role, when you have players like Zensha, if I'm not mistaken, that went.
You mean Celestial? He has been playing for Mineski for quite a while, for at least 2 games, 2 matches actually. So really nice to see him perform well, entering as their 7-man, sorry. So we saw how Mineski adapted so well, and now they are actually going up to the playoffs. Very interesting to see how they will turn out.
And speaking of playoffs right here, I mean, of course, for Acclaim Empire X, this is actually good practice for them. They do have quite the ladder to climb, but then again, they have pulled it off during last year. Maybe they'll pull it off again this year, especially with Mirmo and Awaken. Anything is possible. But speaking of Mirmo and Awaken, I'd also like to bring particular emphasis that it is actually going to be Kurosu that'll be stepping in for Vanguard for this second game.
Not anymore Vanguard, would be support Kurosu. We did see him perform quite similar to Vanguard, but it's the playstyle that really dictates how a player plays in the bottom lane. Let's see if Mirmo will play better with Kurosu, but at the end of the day, Mirmo is this ADC that can perform really well on its own. The support is there to really complement and boost his morale.
Oh man, but Vulcan, I gotta give particular attention. Look at the composition that TNC has. It is a stun. It is a root fiesta from the Ganon to the Elise to the Morgana to the Twisted Fate to the Ashe. Stuns and snares all over. Oh
I
my
hope
goodness.
I hope to the viewers out there watching, you better come down to Garena office because you will be reported for AFK too much. And you might have to file a petition that I was not AFK. I've been locked up by TNC for more than 5 minutes.
Oh god. But yeah, I mean, for AEX as well, like, looking at their composition, they have the Vayne, they have that wait a minute. Teka muna mga pare. Talia top. Is this gonna be Acclaim Empire X finally going back to their roots with the creativity in composition? I'm still waiting for all the hovers and the changes to happen here.
It's going to be an RE top.
Oh.
Let's see. AEX is saying to TNC, we will show you how it is done. But TNC's like, wait a minute, we got this. Let's give it another go. This time we're seeing a cannon top, while at least jungle. But like I said, the bot lane, it's really scary. We're seeing a Morgana and an Ashe.
I really like, again, this is where all the creativity just goes, it just breaks loose for both sides here. I like TNC's composition in the sense that it's very straightforward. Just topple off all the CC and you're good to go. Slicing Maelstrom from Cannon, Cocoon for Elise. The list goes on and on. But of course, ladies and gents, there you have it. Both sides have locked in their compositions. Of course, who you guys are rooting for. Let us know whether you're watching from Facebook or YouTube. Is it going to be hashtag TNC win for you peeps? Do you want to see them go 1-1, or do you want to see a clean sweep coming from Acclaim Empire X? Hashtag AEX win for a 2-0.
So let's see, will TNC Pro Team take away that clean sweep from AEX? This game will decide that. We did see a game on where TNC, they did catch up, but the time that they catch up was too late. They caught up in a moment where it was already AEX's game.
Pretty much. And it's just so tricky for them at this point. Of course, looks like TNC will be sticking to the same squad actually. We've been talking about how Kurosu will be playing in for Vanguard for Game 2. But of course, Endless Ace will continue to take the helm for AD Carry in replacement of High for this game. So, yeah, I mean, again, hopefully, I'm actually hoping, since this game technically doesn't have any bearing, I mean, biases aside, really hoping that TNC pulls off a 1-1. But of course, ladies, we'll just have to check it out as we head on to the rest. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our final match, our final game for the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series 2017 Summer Split before we head into the playoffs. Of course, who better to top off this match between TNC versus AEX? Of course, there we go. We are now on the riff as both sides. Looks like TNC actually going to be grouped up together. Going to try to see if they could make a little bit of a maneuver. It looks like AEX as well. So both sides actually just kind of teamed up. But it looks like it'll be Cannon that'll be able to spot out TNC.
Gold card up. Oh. Cannon flashes over the wall. He gets binded. This is the lockdown we're talking about from TNC. Cannon, you better report AFK. TNC gets the first blood.
Oh my goodness. And that is a flash down for Cannon as well as for Burst there. So, wow, it looks like TNC managed to pull off that a little bit of a kill.
The CC lock, the stun from the gold card, the bind from the Morgana, plus the slow from the Ashe.
And that's just overkill right there. But then again, this is the type of... I gotta say, this is way much more better, much more
Oh.
pleasing to the eye as far as composition for TNC. Game 1, I still have that huge question mark.
Let's see. Tabzu's there. Spots out. Orange Thrust flashes away. There is the blast code.
Oh man, that is gonna be a flash down for Orthros though. But man, this last game for the split is absolutely crazy.
I like how they're playing though. I mean, no restrictions. Go all out.
Yeah,
Contest the red buff.
and looks like AEX gonna try to contest this though. Burst also kind of lingering around with Endless State.
Happy very low. Oh, there's Dark Bite onto the red buff. Rubble back is regenerating.
They're just delaying each other to the T, but looks like Hayes.
Oh, gold card. Tabzu has a flash, gets slowed by the inner flame from Kurosu. But he gets Dark Bited. There's the slow. Tabzu is right inside. Should we go in? Maybe not.
I felt like they get actually.
Wow, the
potentially done,
investment that Tabzu's making. Go for the steal. Steal that 40,000, but no, Bravo back resets again. This is 2 minutes into the game. It's all about that red buff. Let's see, this will be the deciding match if TNC will win this game because of that red buff.
Parang ngayon lang ako nakakita ng laro na 2 minutes,
boy.
30 minutes in.
Arthras, very low on health. There's the stun lock from Burst. Awakening comes from Manila. He's flashing charms. Burst. Burst repels, but the Ignite will finish him off. Bravo back goes to AEX for round 1.
My goodness, we're almost 3 minutes. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng laro na inabot ng ganong katagal yung focus ng camera sa isang particular na area early on in the game. So,
It's like I was watching a pay-per-view match on the Rift. Who gets the Brumble back?
okay, parang bakbakan na bakbakan. TNC versus AEX. Sino ang... Man. But yeah, anyways, going back to this game, of course, that does set for a 1-1 equal. Very equal ground for both sides, but still, this will actually allow Tamsu the upper hand here because...
Burst is very behind, level 1.
Yeah, I mean, that Brambleback invade really paid off for AEX in the end because with so much time invested, ultimately, whoever manages to come off with a kill benefits much more, and that's a huge setback for Burst.
But they've invested so much resources, and there it is, the root down. Burble condemns away Endless Ace to tell him, get away from my support.
Man, this is very interesting. I love TNC strat. Again, it's very straightforward, but very, very effective, especially if they could establish the lead earlier on.
Burble gets rooted down. There's the damage coming in from the tormented soil.
Orthros landing those dark bindings left and right.
Same goes for Kurosu with those inner flame. Just poking him down little by little.
Man, okay, so there's a miss, but yeah, I mean, overall, this is... I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of action on Summoners Rift for this game. There's just... It would be absolutely mind-boggling if any lane decides to play it faster, especially when you have this amount of lockdown, this amount of CC. This is the thing. This is just a game where you know everything will just explode infinitely.
That's the single cannon. Backing away, Ellis is there, Burst is there for the gag, does back away.
Whew. And yes, me too. Kind of keep up with what's going on here so far. Like,
oh, that is a kill, but he gets healed on the turret. Kurosu flashes away with a slither of health.
Man, that was quite the clutch. TNC, sobrang sayang. Just one more auto attack. There was like that one split second of hesitation. Should I go for the auto attack? Should I not? Sayang, that could have been a kill.
Maybe we can go in if he wants to.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is that if you're gonna look at it, for both, yung heal ni Mirmo was actually very, like, a second after. Like, yung split second sana na nakapag-auto attack either si Endless Ace or si Orthros would have potentially secured that kill. So, sayang talaga, missed opportunity, but nonetheless, a great start for TNC, really getting the harass onto both Mirmo and Kurosu.
But when it comes to harassing, I think Burst felt it more in the red side jungle. I mean, that's so much lockdown.
And then, ooh, looks like...
Oh, here it comes. Over the wall. Burst is there though. Townsend gets rid of that. Burst has the conclude ready. There's the conclude in. Oh boy, I don't think he's going anywhere. Endless Ace picks up a very easy kill.
Oh my god, TNC please. the stuns, the brute, the snares, it's all there for them.
Oh, Endless Ace is very low. He does get condemned away. He has the red buff. He will slowly regenerate, but I gotta say, I hate to be the one receiving that lockdown.
Man, that would be like if I were AEX, it's like you couldn't even do anything at that point. And it's interesting actually because if you're gonna look at it, it's Hayes that got the cleanse. I felt like
every member of AEX should have got cleansed. Oh, flash in, charm, and this Ace very low. The black shield will not help you. Awaken misses the flash. Overflow splashes away. Ooh, look at the turn hits. Awaken is absorbing.
Ooh, Endless Ace might have overstayed his welcome with it. He didn't really have his mana, not to mention that his health was very, very dangerous. Would probably should have gone back already, but of course that would be a casualty. But Lando, of course,
Lando's just pushing away the top lane. Now teleports back and he did go to the mid to the bot, but Lando is just peacefully pushing. He is running the fervor, so we are going to be seeing an AD cannon, not an AP cannon.
You know, what's really interesting here is that if we're going to look at AEX's composition, going into the mid to later phases of the game, they actually do have the potential to shut down continuous lockdowns from TNC. One strategically positioned Weaver's Wall to separate members of TNC could actually play out good for them. But let's go ahead and check out what happened here to Cannon. So Lando actually getting great initiate on. Unfortunately, Cannon very low on mana, so there's not really much he could do at this point. So it was just Lando overwhelming him. Flash exhausted for him, but ultimately securing the kill. Mission accomplished.
Lando has really good sustained damage, but Orthros gets taken down.
Oh man.
Oh! Flashing cut by Verbo connects, and his ace is very low. Verbo picks up the kill.
Man, Miramon, this is very scary, to be honest. I mean, but still, I gotta hand it to TNC. This is definitely a better game in comparison to earlier. It's just that there's just so much craziness from the fight for the red buff to just the full-out chaos of lockdown from TNC. But still, I'm really interested in seeing how these 5v5s will.
Oh, Townsend eats up that dome card. Forces there, further control, repels in on the Townsend. Townsend is very low. He kicks away that insect. First, flashes over that wall, but Awaken takes in the bind. Oh, the smite steal. Disrespect.
No, total disrespect indeed. But yeah, I mean, still very, very much equal on the board, if anything. The only thing that really shows is that 1 kill difference that manifests in a 600 gold difference. Not really anything. Again, very, very equal. But it's just that the tricky part here is that if Mirmo skyrockets, then it'll ultimately be a situation wherein Mirmo just needs to avoid as much stun as he can. Again, AEX has all the tools to actually manage the lockdown from TNC. It's just that they need to work their composition to the T. Like I mentioned, a strategically positioned Weaver's Wall, a great ult from Lee Sin to just push out
Clash in a way that it's an easy condemn for Mirmo.
Exactly. You know, teamwork is key for AEX to work here. Well, technically, you could also say the same for TNC, because in order for their composition to work, again, it's very straightforward. A lot of lockdowns. It's just that they need to layer it perfectly. Because if you
Oh, Verbo though. Looking for consent, but there's the black shield.
But yeah, as I was saying, the tricky part here with TNC is that if they don't layer their CC properly, let's say it's a scenario wherein everybody releases their full barrage of CC at the same time, then you wouldn't really be able to maximize the hold power, the lockdown power that you have in TNC's composition. That being said, with AEX, you know, if they survive like 1 full barrage of CC, and that just gives them all the room to retaliate. And technically speaking, if we're going to look at the composition, all the champions that AEX is playing right now, everybody deals a significant amount of damage. So sure, you could say that you want to shut down Mirmo, but there's just so much they have to deal with.
Maybe going for that. First miss that could. Here comes Destiny. Is on to Cannon. Cannon tried to goes away with a Weaver's Wall.
I don't think that was particularly necessary, but nonetheless, looks like AEX will be trading off for this Infernal Drake, knowing very well that Burst is leaning towards the top side.
Yeah, with Lamsu on the Infernal Drake, this will give AEX more power. but I think they need more tenacity. Better rush that Mercurial Thread or the Mercurial Scimitar.
Oh man. But yeah, that'll actually benefit him immensely. Like we did mention, there's a huge lockdown coming in for TNC's competition here. But then again, we have seen Cannon alone disrupting that two-man engage coming from Lando and Burst. So that's actually very telling as to what could potentially happen and what could potentially work in AEX's favor once these 5v5s go. Again, it all comes down to both Cannon and Tomsu performing, making sure that none of the members of TNC could get their full stun on through the disruption that they bring with the kits of their respective champions.
Gotta say, Tomsu is doing his job pretty well. 53 CS to 28. Tries to go out the burst, misses. He does get the card stunned. Look at the burst. Tomsu is very low. He doesn't get taken down. Cleansed by Haze. Will not be enough.
Ooh. A lot of action happening all across the board
2v1, but the minions will do the work.
Man, Mirmo, of course, unfortunately, is taken down, but nonetheless, still AEX slowly taking the lead despite these small victories being exchanged left and right by both TNC and AEX. This is absolutely crazy, and looks like AEX will be trying to push out at this mid-outer turret. Man, this is actually a great opportunity for them. Again, TNC really needs to start picking up the slack here because this is exactly the same thing that happened in terms of storyline from Game 1, where in AEX, upon establishing a steady lead, slowly taking over. So TNC has to be careful of that. But still, given the composition that they have so much potential to get back into this game. Not just go equal, but potentially snowball and go way ahead, speed way ahead of AEX. It all comes down to how they layer their CCs, how they play out these team fights.
It's all about the macro play right here. And AEX, they got the first turret. That's good. That's a good chunk of gold. But looking how, I gotta say, Awaken's Army got through to the drafting. TNC just let that through. Seeing that Haze pick up the fate, I don't think that will be enough to control Awaken. He's 4-0-0. He has Hextech Gunblade.
Oh man.
I think that's huge because when it comes to kiting and mobility, Ari has everything. You put her with a gun, it's like you're giving a monkey a gun. What happens there? He becomes this super monkey that he can shoot any member he wants. And right now, Awaken, he's not a monkey. He's a gorilla. He's gonna kill and bend the back of any member who tries to touch him because he has Hextech Goblet, Spirit Rush, and 400 KDA.
I mean, exactly, and he's just gonna let those primal urges go skyrocket. That's pretty crazy, especially for Ari. And we're talking about an Ari that got a few nerfs here and there, but regardless, then again, I gotta hand it to Haze though. Even though the difference in KDA is absolutely different.
Oh, Lando is just very hungry. Eats all of those damages. Will not be getting away. Oh, Awaken with the last hit basic attack will be unstoppable.
Awaken is finally. Ooh, Ace actually getting the
Here comes the Weaver's Wall, but a bit too late. It will be a 4-against-1. Go for the triple cannon. Dream big. Go big. But I think you will have to go home first. There is the lockdown.
Oh no, Mirmo though. Actually trying to escape this, tries to kite around, but unfortunately it's not able to take numbers. That'll be the double kill for Burst right there. And yeah, I mean, TNC really showing signs of fight. They really want back into this game, but then again, they still have to find a way to deal with Awaken later on.
I don't think they have to deal with it. They have to face him head on, try to lock him down, but that's Ari we are talking about. You can get a black shield to Endless Ace for more mobility and survivability, but here's the replay on what happened.
Yeah, there we go. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, not even connecting onto anybody, but still, because of that great global coming in from Dissipate's kit here, Tomsu actually trying to divert some of this damage. It's just that at the end of the day, 4v0. And the lockdowns, we've been talking about how potent the lockdowns from TNC are. Really swing everything in their favor, causing a double kill for Endless Ace, getting him back into this game. And if you're going to look at it, Cannon actually could have gone for this triple cleanup onto members of TNC. It's just that wasn't quite landing those skill shots right there, and it just ultimately allowed TNC all the opportunity in the world to just turn things back for them. Not really on equal ground just yet, but close enough that they could actually overtake if they could pick this up.
And right after the brawl from the bottom lane, it goes on to the Rip Parallel. Lando is very low. Awaken goes in very deep, but he does get exhausted and stunned. Forced to back away, resetting his mobility. He does get rooted down. The Crystal Arrow will not connect. Awaken trying his best, but Lando is just heal gaining him.
Oh man, the lockdowns, they are absolutely out. working in TNC's favor right now. But here's the thing though, they really thrive in these moments where they've been overwhelming members of AEX in terms of the numbers game. What I'm really looking forward to seeing is how they'll fare when it goes into all these full 5v5s, when AEX has all the kit in the world to actually, if not dodge stuns, prevent stuns, hold off stuns.
And to face check to your death, you better not do that.
Ah, that's crazy. And here comes the Rift Herald though. That wasn't technically necessary though. Okay, so
now it's worth it.
I'm actually interested in seeing whether or not can.
Oh, 1v1, and let's try to go for 1v1. There's the heal, and Main Burmo comes on top.
No, Mirmo says he's definitely showing that he is better ADC in that case. Going 1v1, but Case! Oh, actually goes down.
Finishes him off. There is the Herald.
Heavy push though happening for TNC.
Wow, look at that push. 2 turrets, 3 members in the top side. Hamster going in. He does get instantly bursted and locked down. Regrets his decision. Flashes away.
Oh man. Such a shame they could have gotten Tamsu actually. But still, nonetheless, mission accomplished. They did get 2 turrets. But oh, Lando actually getting the kill on the Tamsu because of
the Rift Herald with the playmaking. Now I really want to see a slow motion replay on that. The MVP of the game. Rift Herald by Lando.
MVP of the split.
That's a spotlight right there.
Yeah,
Champion spotlight, player spotlight.
It's like I could hear Freak talking about welcome to League of Legends Champion Spotlight.
The 7th. This is like the 7th player for TNC.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Rift Herald.
There, my boy RH, y'all, in the house, in the flesh. There we go. But yeah, 12 and 13 on the scoreboard right now. Still, TNC actually slowly pulling the lead here. This is what I'm talking about right here. TNC has all the relative weight in their favor. They just need to get the proper lockdowns and everything will follow.
I'm pretty sure all the members of AEX got their AFK warning. If they get locked down again, this might cost them their game. So, slow and steady, shipping another Mama Drake, AEX, to the securing it in the dollar contest.
Drake's really going in, working for AEX right now. If anything, this actually allows them a lot more objective control because of not only the damage for objectives, but the general damage for
was the enchanted crystal arrow connected?
Endless ace, my goodness, really stepping up in this game.
It's snipe.
This is kind of like the trickster in the making here, wherein, again, like we mentioned, Endless Ace is almost virtually capable of playing almost any role. And the fact that he's performing above and beyond 5, again, technically, I'm saying above and beyond because earlier he was struggling, but now, you know, really getting back into this game, a lot of things working out for him. AEX actually making the mistakes that allows Endless Ace to get back into this game. So if this keeps up, then this might actually lead TNC to a 1-1. But still, anything can happen. AEX just really needs to work on their counter. They have all the tools to cancel out any form of aggression on TNC. It's just that they need to look for it.
Wow, look at the damage that Orthros is bringing into this game with that Morgana. Tamsu can't catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that AEX has to look out for. They want to avoid getting caught out because they have all the tools to try to hold off the stunts, the roots, the lockdowns coming in from TNC in the 5v5 clashes. It's just that the problem here is that TNC has been playing this so well in terms of overwhelming AEX in terms of the numbers game. It just actually allowed TNC to get back in this game. If anything, AEX actually had an...
Oh boy, that's a big trouble for Cannon. Instantly burst down.
Again, the lockdowns are absolutely consistent for TNC at this point. And like I mentioned, AEX, they need to try to avoid getting picked off here because one stun, especially when a lot of members are TNC within the vicinity, almost ensures a clear kill. And even with Awaken's lead right now, 6-1, just this one member alone couldn't really function unless the rest of AEX pulls their weight. Because at the end of the day, in order for AEX to really get the counter, they need all the maneuverability, all the terrain coming in from Cannon, all the disruption to really stop the onslaught of lockdowns coming in from TNC.
And right now the Baron will be live. We will be seeing more action in the Baron pit.
Ooh. If this Baron fight ensues, that's going to be a very juicy fight right there. And again, I'm still waiting for that full 5v5 because that'll really determine who could pull off the composition here. Because TNC versus AEX, it's very, very classic as to how you'd want a draft to go. TNC, very proactive, dictated the flow as per their advantage being on the blue side. AEX has a more reactive composition.
Oh boy, here comes Destiny's onto Tamsu. Oh, still catches that stun.
that would have almost been a kill had it not been. I mean, this is very interesting indeed. So we'll just have to see at the end of the day. This is a little bit of a dance here happening as to, because if one side secures the Baron, that would be pretty monumental. Especially if TNC secured it, because that'll allow them all the much more control, all the more aggression. Again, AEX is kind of more in a responsive position here, where they want to wait for TNC to initiate on them, and then just do the fancy footwork and the clashes to survive long enough to go for the counter engage.
When it comes to KDA, TNC is on par because of the red buff shutdown.
Yeah, I mean, red buff shutdown plus the fact that with the dragons that they have, 2 dragons to nothing, but still, the fact that TNC has this lead right now because of turrets, not to mention CS as well. If you're going to look at it, there's actually a huge difference between Lanto and Canada. 217 to 165. And looking at the rest of the members, it's just absolutely crazy at this point. I mean, it's ultimately TNC just really being proactive, pulling the trigger, getting lockdowns on to pick off members of AEX continuously.
And AEX continuously checking the Baron pit. This is a high-stake objective.
Yeah, because if they do take down that Baron, that would cause a lot more problems to AEX, because not only are they forced into being in a more responsive, counteractive position, as technically they already are in, but with that Baron, it just restrains them a little bit more. Especially with the lockdown potential of TNC. If anything, I feel that AEX, they kind of want to start grouping together, because I feel like that's where they'll be able to really counter TNC's composition here.
Yeah, when you're grouped up, you can't have a single lockdown. Everyone will be all over the place, so AEX really has to play to their win conditions.
Because the tricky part here is that AEX themselves, it's kind of dangerous for them when they're separated, because we have seen the power of the lockdown, the powerhouse that TNC has right now. The stuns, the snares, everything working in their favor, which is why they were able to establish this lead. Members of AEX allowing themselves to get picked off continuously across the map. So this is, again, I'm still waiting for that full 5v5 to see if AEX actually does have the potential to maneuver with the competition that they have to kind of allow TNC to exhaust all their stun resources, their all lockdown resources, and then go for the counter engage for the kill.
And right now, Burbo's actually ready for the 5v5. He already has the QSS. A really bad counter. Morgana is just a hard counter towards Wave.
That's going to be the enchanted.
Oh, flash in! We'll come back! I just think Endless Ace gets taken out. Teleport coming in. Tabzu eyeing the teleport. Destiny is there. Hayes chose himself, but instantly connects. There's the Dragon Ring. Hayes goes all for a ride. Burbo picks it up.
Yo, Destiny misplay by Hayes right there, resulting for a 2-0, and this might actually be the chance for AEX to try to get the Baron. Man, if they get this Baron, this will actually allow AEX to play TNC's game as being more proactive, pushing out these lanes. And this will be very scary indeed. I'm not sure. Let's see if Burst will be able to go for the kill.
There's the Weaver's Wall. Cannon cuts them off. Baron is half down health. Let's see what happens.
Oh,
no. Lando has flash and a slashing Maelstrom. A bit too late. AEX already took the Baron away from TNC.
This is going to be very tricky, because even though TNC has all the lockdown potential, with that Baron buff, plus the fact that AEX has the Mountain Drake and Infernal Drake to boot, allows them a lot more strength in terms of using defense. So let's go ahead and check out what happens here. Again, the charm onto Endless Ace was pretty nifty. The fact that Hayes, again, a misplay with this Destiny here, going into 4 members of AEX, not exactly the best maneuver right there. And especially with the lack of follow-up, even with the Destiny, definitely, I'm not sure what Hayes was going for. Again,
oh my
I'm not sure if it's a misplay. Infernal Drake, man. 2
Infernal Drakes and 1 Mountain Drake. That is huge for AEX. They have the Baron.
Imagine how painful their push potential, their siege potential would be. It's just mind-boggling at this point. And like I mentioned, the later on this game goes, all the more potent that Vayne will become for Mirmo. And we have seen the potential that Mirmo has as an AD carry. The carry potential is absolutely insane, which is exactly why, for me personally, I'd consider him the rookie of this split. Just performs absolutely amazingly. And
consistent also.
Consistent, exactly. And we're talking about...
Oh, here comes Lando. Can't even get near him. Not even a challenge.
No, not at all. And you know what's interesting here is that TNC has the perfect composition to lock down a Vayne. It's just that did a great job at shutting down members like Cannon, like Thomas. But aside from that, the key members of AEX, such as Wikin and Mirmo, these are the champions that could just really pull ahead, get AEX back on equal ground with TNC. And technically, they actually have the gold lead now in their favor.
Verbo gets stunned. He cleansed away from it. Face box to Sonya, but still a shutdown for Verbo. A 2-for-1.
Holy cow, 2-for-1 indeed. That was a fancy footwork. That was a lot of members of the TNC actually going for the response here. And as a result, AEX will go for this MVP. Baron buff is in their favor. Miracle is a great distraction towards the overall siege for AEX. And this is very, very problematic for TNC right here. They had it. They just had it again. Very straightforward lockdown. But with that Baron take from AEX and those misplays coming into this ace and case during that last full-on clash, it really just, it's kind of like a scale where it tilted way back into AEX's favor. That one single Baron changed the pace of that game. But yeah, going into this replay here, look at the fancy woodwork coming in from Mirmo. That's crazy god mechanics. This is the reason why Mirmo was at the top 1 for solo queue challenger right there. And again, I'm just so happy for him. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the full-on replay here. So Mirmo really getting the juggle on here. I'm actually surprised, even with the enchanted crystal arrow, still manages to take down Haze. Absolutely crazy right there. And what's interesting here is that these were 4 members of TNC that were about to converge onto him, but the fact that Mirmo still got that double kill is very telling. Very scary actually.
Wow, look at the damage coming in from Awaken. Wow, I can't believe how fast that Elise died. Like, what the heck was that? Awaken is really kind of proud.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, what's really tricky here at the same time is that with the siege right now, TNC, technically they're in the position to be more proactive, be more active as far as getting these camps out. But with the lead that they managed to pull off, I mean, the domination that AEX has managed to pull off, that stands as to getting that Baron, really establishing back their potential in their lead as far. It's just so tricky for TNC. They're forced into a reactive position right now. So, which is technically not the best position to be in when you have this type of competition.
Yeah, they can't even contest or engage with this comp. It's more of pick-off.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is that they were so proactive, they were so confident roaming across this map because they knew that they had the lockout down potential. So to see them in a very reactive position
wow,
is very tricky. The damage again from Mirmo, crazy.
Let's see how things turn out. This is the last inhibitor.
What will be the last stand? Not quite sure though. We'll just have to see.
Oh, Orthros with the fancy footwork is trying baiting it out, but Awaken is there for the cleanup. That is a double, and I think this is a closing game for the group stages of the PGS.
Oh man, one last thing I just realized, it's all said and done. This is absolutely crazy.
Oh, very close call for Rose.
What would be the game?
They're still sticking to it, trying to find the way. They're very low, so they will go for a reset and come back to finish the draw.
No need to rush at all, with all inhibitors down. But yeah, as I was saying, one thing I just realized, we were talking about...
Oh my goodness, Lando with a lockdown onto Awaken, shots him down.
But yeah, as I was saying, one thing I realized is that if you're going to look at it, we were talking about how Awaken has proven himself as the as a worthy successor to Calculated, and it was proven in the Infused versus Acclaim Empire X game. For this TNC versus AEX game, Endless Ace actually coming from Acclaim Empire X as well, transitioning onto TNC Pro Team. This is another scenario where AEX proving that even without Calculated, even without Endless Ace, they'd still perform, they'd still make the playoffs. And it's very refreshing to see indeed.
And now with the Baron live in less than a minute, I think this might be the Baron closing Baron game. Oh boy. I don't think Lan's gonna survive this. He just takes it in like a man.
Man, look at Caroso just kind of swinging back and forth. That was crazy. And at this point, you know, Acclaim Empire X has all the tools, all the makings in the world to finish out this game. we'll just have to see if they could follow suit and do so. You know, TNC really going for this last stand here. Will try to defend with all their might.
Yes, with only Lando remain. Lando is actually have a really big death timer. But I think with all the members pretty much healthy, they are converging onto the base.
Oh, is this gonna be it? Man, if AEX got that last Mountain Drake, that would have been just damage all the way. Oh man.
But I don't think they're gonna wait for it. They're already aiming for the big speed. It's going to be protection, but let's the last catch. Furbo instantly pushed out NSA. And I think this is the last game of today's group stages. Congratulations to AEX for the 2-0.
Congratulations. Man, Acclaim Empire X really showing how it's done. A great way to close out the split as we head into the playoffs. Again, 2-0. Congratulations. Good game.
Good game to TNC also for placing 5th into the standings. But let's see actually the summary of the standings to see who actually made it to the playoffs, because of course we saw in the first section we saw a TME, IBT, followed by Mineski and AEX.
Yeah, but I mean, even prior, like, oh man, it's actually overwhelming. I can't believe that after all these weeks, a split has finally finished. We have our top 4, and it's going to be very bloody indeed. So, I mean, yeah, we'll just have to check out. I believe we'll be seeing the
endgame stats first.
Yeah,
before we get onto it, because let's sum up this game 2 of match 1 between TNC and AEX.
Yeah, because regardless, we've been championing how Acclaim Empire X really performed this game. I gotta hand it to TNC as well. Endless Ace really showed up in this game, in my opinion. It's just that overall, because of some mishaps here and there, it ultimately allowed AEX to get back into this game, and there was that monumental clash wherein Endless Ace and Hayes was picked out that ultimately just swayed it back in AEX's favor. So yeah, again, congratulations to Acclaim Empire X, really doing well. But of course, ladies and gents, like I did mention, that concludes the split. Before we head into the playoffs, again, here are the standings.
Of the PGS. This is the group stages.
Yes.
Now, finally, we'll be moving on to the playoffs, the top 4 of the standings.
Man, I gotta hand it, of course. I gotta give my congratulations not only to the top 4 teams, but to everybody, all the teams, Asian Arena, Infuse. There's just so many to mention. I'm not gonna run it down anymore, but yeah, to all the 8 teams, I gotta give my congratulations. They really performed this split. If anything, regardless of their placement, they have to be very proud of themselves. They really showed us that, you know, we have a great set of teams in the Philippines, and, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed that we have all the potential in the world to potentially make it to Worlds.
Well, 2 slots for World, 1 slot for GPL. This is Worlds on the line of the Backers Pro Gaming Series Summer Split.
There we go. We actually have the standings. Of course, a quick summary. In 8th place, we have Asian Arena with 3 points, 311. Infused Esports at 7, 311 as well, but with 4 points. Of course, the difference here is how they won out these games. This was a 3-0. This was a 2-0 and a 1-1, as opposed to Asian Arena, which was all 1-1s across the board. Of course, in 6th place, that's Jinx Esports, 4-10 with 4 points. TNC Pro Team as well, 4-10 with 5 points though. And of course, making it into the playoffs in 4th place, Acclaim Empire X, 9-5 with 12 points. Mineski as well in 3rd, 9-5 at 12 as well. And of course, coming in 2nd, Imperium Pro Team, 10-4, 14. And finally, in 1st place, the undefeated, the undisputed Team Manila Eagles, 14-0, clean with 21 points.
So for TNC Pro Team, Jengski Esports, Infused Esports will be facing the promotions and relegations, whereas Asian Arena will be auto-relegated.
Man, and as excited as I am to go straight into the playoffs, of course, quick announcement to everybody. For the meantime, we'll be taking a quick break for the PGS because we'll be making way as we watch LOL International Collegiate Championship Southeast Asian qualifiers. That's actually tomorrow, July 2.
Yeah, the LICC. The LCL we face from 48 teams down to only 1 representative for the Philippines. UPD, Oblation Esports, will be playing in the LICC qualifiers tomorrow.
And of course, it's not only the LOL International Collegiate Championship qualifiers. We also have, of course, Rift Rivals, wherein Mineski will be representing us against the best of the best coming in from both Oceania and Japan. LJL and... I forgot. bit rusty here because very exciting. I mean, still trying to recover from that game earlier. But yeah, of course, PGS, the playoffs, our gauntlet, will be resuming on July 14. But as I was talking, we do have the Rift Rivals. So, of course, that'll be from July 3 to 6. But we'll be showing you a little bit of a preview featuring Meski. But, of course, for the meantime, we have been your casters, Arctic at Yo Service Fan. Of course, with me was Vulcan. This has been the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series. Check this out.
Tingin ko kaya kami na tatalo sa PGS kasi nagtatry kami ng iba-ibang playstyle.
Yung shot call di nasusunod, tsaka yung plano namin before mag-start yung laro di rin nasusunod.
Well, there were days that we felt really down. We thought, why isn't anything working out for us? We sorted our issues and just made the resolve that we can still do this, we're not yet out. Why stop when there's still a chance to win?
Bali yung dating na rivals ngayon, gagawin namin itong stepping stone para lumakas pa yung communication namin and yung in-game shot calling.
From what I see, the Japanese teams all have Korean players, so the style that they use is more macro-oriented, while the C teams are more aggressive in their play style. I think we can surprise them if we just play our normal game.
Yung biggest difference na napapansin ko yung mga risks na tinitake ng Japanese teams na nakakalaban namin, calculated lagi. Hindi yung 50-50 play or plays na high risk and low reward. Para sa akin, exciting kasi obvious naman na iba-iba yung meta ng mga region. So, din nga sa Rift Rivals, makikita natin kung anong region yung parang mas superior.
Para sa amin, mas focus namin yung PGS kasi road to worlds yun. Pero hindi namin hinayaan yung Rift Rivals, pinag-arapan din namin. Nag-ready kami doon para doon.
I don't think Rift Rivals should be much of an offshot. I think they can still do what they've been doing. We'll give our best and not disappoint our fans here in the Philippines.
Babawi kami. Compare sa GPL na kinulang kami. Yun lang.
To the Rip Carroll, Lando is very low already, goes in very deep, but he does get exhausted and stunned. Forced to back away, resetting his mobility. He does get rooted down, the crystal arrow will not connect. Wake trying his best, but Lando is just field beating him. Oh man, the lockdowns, they get stunned. He cleansed away from them. Face bumps the Sonya, but still a shutdown. For the big team. But let's the last shot. Murmur instantly pushed on LFAs. And I think this is the last game of today's group stages. Congratulations to AEX for a 3-2 dinner.